Hey, 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 Facebook family and friends and Clubhouse. We are here live. I am super duper excited. We are doing our Money Making Monday Candid Conversations. And here in Costa Rica, it's slightly raining a little bit, so the internet connection may go in and out. But I am prayerful that it will maintain and be okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm super happy that we're actually here to see you and to see you pop up. Hey Cynthia, hey Joe, hey Thomas. But cause this has been an interesting day of social media outage, right? How about this? If you're a business owner and you had your platforms going on Instagram and on Facebook. And oh, by the way, WhatsApp. People are like, why is WhatsApp app? Yes, all connected together. You notice that they were all out, right? Some of people knew, but some people didn't. But people in business definitely knew something was happening. And it caused a little fear factor in everybody going on in some cases because they was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? What do I do? Because a lot of transitioning has happened on social media platform due to the pandemic, where a lot of people have been on social media advertising, building up their clientele. But what did not have was a backup plan that allowed them to reach their clientele off the platforms. So today was a learning lesson, right? And we actually have a book today from the author, Miss Malika Star Carey, that talks about now the skills that I know better. Now go figure, right? Because now when you know better, you do better, right? So this whole time on Clubhouse, which by the way, this is where I met this phenomenal young woman, was on Clubhouse. And what happened is, of course, we immediately took it offline. I'm a firm believer of taking it off from online to offline and being able to connect to your individuals because it's important. So if something happens to your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever happens, guess what? You still have connections with your little smartphone, or hopefully I still have a backup. Now, I'm sorry, I'm still old school, so I still have a telephone. Yes, a telephone address book that might be obsolete to some people because my phone could go corrupt or something and I might lose all my contacts. So just in case that iCloud don't back up or that Android don't back up, I have something in place that I will maintain my relationships with the individuals that I do meet online, right? So this young lady met online, and like I said, Instagram and everything has been down. Facebook has been down, where we do a lot of advertising and marketing, but we do not let that stop us because even regardless of if it came up or not, we are on Clubhouse. So we're simultaneously doing this on the platform on Clubhouse, and we are doing it on Facebook, right? And it's on YouTube as well. So if you just happen to be in either one of the platforms, we're so happy to have you here. Miss Malika Star Carey is a mother, right? Mompreneurs is, I said to myself, I'm going to affirm, I'm going to attract my tribe, right? I put that out there in the atmosphere, in the universe, and guess what? It's been happening. Moms like myself who are entrepreneurs, and some work a full-time job as well. So they have a platter of things on their platter, not being a plethora of things on that platter, not a plate, but a platter, because they're multitasking and they're doing everything and they're supporting their families, right? They're going out and they're bringing home the bacon. Yes. So she is one of those elite super moms who are doing it. And the thing is, listen, she's such a super phenomenal woman that during the pandemic, she affirmed something while we was on Clubhouse, and she said, I'm going to return my job, which she stayed in the DMV area, back to the economy. And I'm relocating to the ATL. We're like, whoa, what a big move, right? During a pandemic. And so she said it, and maybe a few months later, whoop, it happened. It happened where she relocated to Atlanta, and ever since she relocated, y'all. She's been so super busy and super busy in a productive way, right? She was obedient and she went. And since then, her clientele has went up. Yes, she still has her full-time job, a new job, but her clientele on her side, on her business, has gone up because guess what? She's a published author. She has her own publishing company herself. Yes, Malika Star Carey. Hey, Carey Publishing. Listen, and she's a ghostwriter. So when you have that story inside of you that you want to tell, and you're not sure how to put it pen to paper, like me, because I didn't like English composition whatsoever. Period. I hate all the little red ink notes that my teacher, Miss Willingham, rest her soul in heaven, would put on my paper. But I'm not a writer, you know. But she is. And so she has learned to take individual stories, put them on paper, and create some beautiful, beautiful books on their behalf. So I want to introduce to some and reintroduce to others this mother, this writer of a phenomenal book. I have my copy now that I know better, who recently was a DC person, but now she's Atlantean, right? You know, transplanted. Miss Malika Star Carey. Hello, beautiful. Welcome. Listen, testing 1, 2, 3. We can't. Oh, you're on mute. That's why. There you go.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to block out that little glare in the picture. But hey, everybody. Thank you so much for watching me. Janae, thank you so much for having me here. I am so excited. I'm just really excited. You are a phenomenal woman, awesome supporter, this wonderful person to be around, your lights, your love, your energy. I love it. And I'm so glad we were able to connect on Facebook and build a friendship. I cannot wait to get to come to Costa Rica and visit you. Oh my God, that is so on the agenda for next year. And so here I am. And thank you for having me on the show to talk about my
Here
book
you are
and
in your
my life.
pearls, looking absolutely phenomenal. See you on Clubhouse here too. Thank you, Miss Katrina. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, Matrika, my battle buzz. And Latanya, thank you as well for being here as we get ready to share the book that we're promoting from this African American sister who is the author of Now That I Know Better. Listen, everyone, it is very important about reading. You know, literacy and education and understanding is phenomenal. And supporting each other is even, you know, it's a whole different level. So I have Money Making Monday conversations, and we may have Jack Canfield, and we may be talking about, you know, the success principles and different things from John C. Maxwell. But I was like, it is time that I get with other like-minded individual women, because I just kept coming across all these phenomenal authors, these women who published their books, and then women like Miss Malika Star Carey, who actually help others publish their own book. And I was like, man, I got to get these ladies on the platform to share their phenomenal tidbits out of their book. So Malika, what I would love for you to do is just tell the audience a little bit about who you are, what really got you started into writing, because it's one thing to write for yourself, but then to have the gift and the patience and the skills to write for someone else. What made you do this?
So I actually started writing when I was 12. My mom or somebody or cousin gave me a journal. And it wasn't a journal back then. They gave me a diary that had a little lock in it. And I would write my thoughts. I would write, my fears, my pain, whatever my thoughts were. I would just write them in my journal. And I was so glad that it came with a little key so I could keep my twin brother out. And so funny. And that's where my writing started. And then as you got to be a teenager, I started writing books, not writing books, writing love letters. Okay, so I was so in love, and I had this little boyfriend, and I didn't always know how to express myself verbally. So I would write letters. And so I would call my friends, my cousin, and read the letters to them. And then they would be like, "Could you write a letter for me?" And so I started writing letters for them. And then I was introduced to the world of poetry. And so we wrote with the Dead Poets Society of Newark. I was exposed to them through college, and I started writing poems. And then to make extra money, I wrote poems for other people. So I could write jingles, and I would write poetry for businesses, and they would buy it. I had a friend of mine whose mom would say, "Okay, this is somebody's birthday is coming up, or somebody graduated, or somebody in her family." She would tell me the gist of what she wanted to say. I would write it, put it on pretty paper, frame it, sell it, $20. I always had a little hustle inside of me. I was always a single mom. I've been a mom since I was 19. And so it was always a way to have the extra money. To tell the truth, I started off on welfare, and my mom was like, "You're not going to make this a crutch. And you're not going to sit here and have a bunch of babies and think this is going to be income." And then when I realized that money doesn't even pay a car note, I realized that that wasn't for me. I went back to college, got my associate's degree from Essex County College in Newark, New Jersey, and eventually went on to the University of Phoenix and finished my bachelor's degree in management. But I knew I always wanted to be a writer. And I remember when I was about 23 or 24, um, just really just trying to still get through school, figure out life. I said, you know what? By the time I'm 30, I'm going to be a published author. And somebody was like, "Shut up, dummy. You're not going to be anything." Really? So now I had to prove them wrong. And, I delayed it just a little bit, but God just being God. After the marriage, after the divorce, I went back to school. And then I said, "I'm not going to get my master's. I'm going to write the book. I'm going to write the book." And lo and behold, God gave me the words. My mom helped me edit it because she's a avid reader. My mom reads a novel a week, not just a book, a novel, books like twice as thick as this in a week, or she's listening to books. So who better to help me tell the story? So that's how we got to now that I know better. And then, of course, once I published the book and people started reading the book and seeing how good it was, they were like, "Can you help me write my book?" And so that's how it turned into a business. I formed Molly Star Publishing to publish my books. I did a lot of the homework. A lot of bigger publishing houses, they charged a lot of money. And I just was like, let me figure this out. So I figured out how to publish my own book. And then it started into my own business. And so since then, we've published 3 books that are actually to totality and completion. One has an update coming, but we have 3 books. One is comprised of a book of poetry, inspirational poetry. Another book is a cookbook, a full color cookbook we published. And then the other one is a motivational book written by a principal at a middle school in New Jersey, where I'm from. So super, super, super excited. And I'll give the names of all of those books at the end of the show.
Oh my gosh. Look at this girl from Jersey, you guys. Wow. She said she started writing at the age of 12. Okay. So we talk about literacy, how important it is to talk about reading. So we talk about financial literacy as well. But first, we must start with the basics, reading, because financial literacy is about reading and understanding and comprehending, right? So that's first and foremost. The teachers shape the minds of our young people. And you started out at 12 with a journal with a little key lock on it. That's absolutely amazing. And from there, you dreamed of becoming an author. You
I
didn't.
wrote I wrote my first poem and I read it in church in front of 2,000 people at,
What?
at 11 or 12, like 12. Yeah, I was 12.
Wow, that's amazing. So listen, parents, aunties, uncles, instead of getting our babies, now bless their heart, it's great to give them the little DSs and all the games and video games. But nowadays, it is really good to go back to the basics. Give them a nice, good book, a pen, a nice journal, and tell them to write all their thoughts on paper and see where it leads. It led this young lady to not only writing her own book, but also becoming a publisher because once she found out how expensive it is to go to a publishing house, she found the need for others who were in the same predicament that she was in to make it more affordable. And not only that, she became a ghostwriter, helping them to write their own stories. Oh, that's so amazing. So, let's go ahead and get to the book. I'm so excited. So, please do the honors of reading an excerpt from Now That I Know Better.
Okay, so let's start with the introduction because there's no chronological order for the book. So if you do purchase a copy of the book, it's one of those books that actually you can pick a chapter that speaks to you and read that chapter. Although the story does have some progression, there is a foundation. It is written in a classroom metaphor. Uh, because I believe we're all learning. So if I read the introduction, it'll segue into all the other questions, the chapters. And so I'm so excited to divulge a copy of the book. And so the book is dedicated to my um, gone but never forgotten dad, Joseph Randleman. And I love him so much and wish he was here to see all of this happen for me. Um, I like the foreword. It was written by a friend who read the first copy of the book. And this is what she read back to me. Malika Starr, the creative author of Now That I Know Better, who through these pages, she intentionally unveils the relationship between your life as a classroom setting and full of life's experiences and lessons as the teacher. It is an eye opening journey into self reflection, elevation, and discovery of the multitudes of learning centers we enter and are taught throughout our lives. Some of our teachers we recognize right away, and others we don't, which often may require some lessons be repeated. Malika shares her personal journey, insight, and elevation into which, through some of her greatest yet toughest lessons, she has shaped her into the woman she is today. Our job is to take a page from the author's book, recognize and acknowledge the teachers, grasp the lessons being taught while in class, for surely there will be a test. This book awakens the student within all of us to the fact that class is always in session. And it was written by Tasha Sneed, and she at the time was in Gainesville, Virginia, but a really sweet person who knows me a little bit personally, but through the book really got to know who I was. And when she wrote that back to me, I was like, I gotta put it in the book, Tasha. And so she allowed me to share that in the book.
Wow, that's amazing. Listen, when she talks about how it's broken down, you guys, it starts out with well, first of all, she tells you to go get your pen. Literally, she starts out after she just read that excerpt. She says, "Get your pen out," and she has something for you to write with,
The
and
notebook paper.
write down your notes. Right. So she's already telling you get ready. And then she breaks it down by chapters of life is a classroom. Mistakes were her best teacher. It was just a test. Watch your mouth. You get sick and tired when you lay down with dogs. Ooh, haven't y'all heard that? Did your mama tell you and your
My
grandmama?
grandmother used to tell me that all the time.
All the time. Acknowledging selfish ways. And it's okay to get upset. And listen, y'all, learn from other people's buffoonery. Buffoonery.
You really don't have to make that mistake. Like a lot of times we'll be like, oh, that won't happen to me. Oh, they did it. That happened to them. They were stupid. They got caught. That won't happen to me. And then guess what? It happens to you.
It happened. It happened.
Mhm.
Even though they said it wouldn't happen, it happened.
Yeah,
And then she says, what chapter 10 is laugh more than you cry. My mama used to say, and she still does, you know, and I just be like, Mama, what are you laughing for? She said, because it beats crying, you know? And I was just like, But I so get it because in the moments where you feel like you just can't, like, listen, y'all, something happened to me before I got on this platform and I was disoriented and I felt like crying. But now I'm getting better just being around you and having this conversation and seeing my battles in the room and their support. Katrina, Dion, Matrika, my sister Sarah, Miss Latanya. And then we got Miss Robin, we got Chucky on the stage on the platform. On Facebook, we got Susan, we got Joe, we got Tim. You know, so just seeing the support of you and having everyone listen, you guys, the replay is going to also be awesome because people are going to be able to replay this and they're going to be like, oh, wow, here's another successful young woman who's an author. Wow. And she's a publishing company. So we're hoping that this will resonate with someone who has the story to tell, but you just don't know how to share it. And she ends out with love does not come around again. And
love comes around again. Love comes around again. And actually, that is my next book coming out. So I pulled a chapter out of my book to spin off my next book. So love comes around again. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about that also. But yes, love comes around again.
Like a little spin-off. Hey, oh wow. I'm looking forward to that one because she closes it out. She opens up the book with prayer, and guess what, y'all? You're right. She closes it with prayer. This woman of God, God is first and foremost. And as she's keeping and continuing her path, she's putting him first and he's directing. She's executing. We always talk about faith without works is dead. What we talked about that this morning in one of our rooms. Faith without works is dead. And honey, you are surely executing. And so when I tell you guys, this is a book that you definitely want to pick up. Malika, tell everyone as I type it in how they can get this book.
So the best way is to type in my name on in Amazon, but it's also in Barnes and Noble online. And then if you like to, you can always DM me on. I have a link tree on my social media, which is Malika Star on all platforms, STAAR. And there's a link tree there that will take you to the links to buy an autograph book. So you can find me on Amazon, but you have to go by my name and not the book name because someone got a hold of a book and they have one of the classic books and they're actually selling the book for $65. I got mad. My brother was like, no, they see the value in what you put in this book.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. But I'm not selling the book for $65. I'm selling the book for $16.95 on Amazon. And I think it's $15.99 on Barnes and Noble. And then if you want the autograph copy, it's $23. It covers the shipping and handling. The book is personally autographed by me. And I always write a little message on the inside. Whatever the Lord drops into my heart to speak to the person ordering the book, just a little encourage. I wrote you a book.
I have my autographed copy, y'all.
But just a little personal message from me to you, from the Lord, from God, from the universe, who speaks through me and speaks light and love through me. And I pour that into those pages. So not just, you don't just get the story of my life, but you get a little bit of personal encouragement to yourself. And so you can do that. If you just follow the social media, follow me on Instagram under Malika Star 2 STAAR. And yeah, you can contact me on all social media platforms. That's where you can find me. Mhm. And then you can put my name in the search bars on Barnes and Noble as well as Amazon. And if you live near Barnes and Noble, we're not on the shelf, but if you go there, they will order the book for you and have it sent to your house.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness, you guys. So you guys see it right here on the label. Malika Star Carey, Now That I Know Better, on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. Author Malika Star Carey, Now That I Know Better. And I'm going to actually put her Instagram down here as well as her social media platforms, in which she already said. So Instagram and Facebook, you can find her under Malika Star, which is,
And TikTok, I really don't know how to do TikTok yet, but
you probably learned today.
I'm probably gonna learn, right? I'm gonna learn, but there's some ways to follow me for those that are on TikTok. And every now and then I'll get on and dance with my kids, or I'm still really learning. I'm trying to teach myself that new dance where they all do like this. And
So on your Instagram, is it Malika Star 2 or is it Malika Star?
on Instagram, it's Malik, one word, Malika Star, STAAR, the number 2.
Okay.
On Facebook, um,
On
if you
Facebook,
put in
Malika
Malika, you
Star.
just put in Malika Star, it'll come up. On TikTok, it's Malika Star 1.
So we're gonna open it up for some questions, some Q&A right now. So anyone on Clubhouse, if you have any questions for the author, we're about to get ready to wrap it up. By all means, please raise your hands. We usually try to go about 30 minutes, to get that information out there, to keep it clear and concise so that you know exactly where to get the book, who the author is. Here's some words from the book. Be inspired, be encouraged, to know that you can also get your story out there, and particularly with this young individual who's also a publisher in her own right, to help you get your story out there. So if you have any questions on Clubhouse, and if you have any questions here on Facebook, put them in the comments. I am going to be doing both, looking to see. And let me wrap this up because I see somebody comments at Malika Star Carey and Facebook Malika Star. And scroll that down. Find her on, and there we go.
And can I just say this for anybody who believes they can't write? We all have a story to tell. And I was always told, your story, what you went through, number one, in writing your story, it becomes therapy. I am not a native New Yorker. I am a native New Jersey. I'm from the Garden State. You hear my accent, I'm sure, but now I'm a Jersey peach. And I mean, I'm a Jersey. Well, that's my cousin.
Peach.
So I'm a Jersey peach. My cousin's name, she's a Jersey peach. So I am an NJMD peach because I spent half my life in Jersey, half my life in Maryland, and now I'm spending. I'm going to spend some years here in the great state of Georgia as a peach.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, you guys know where to get her books from. I put her Instagram up. Malika.
You put my Instagram. Wait. Time out.
Malika
You got to go back. STAAR. Find her at
I always want to throw that extra R in there.
Always catch that. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw that
And
extra
then
R in
Facebook, if you look for Malik, you'll find my twin.
there. Ooh, yeah. Okay. All right, let me get this
So,
fixed so everybody
right.
can see that.
STAAR, and then put the A at the end of Malika on Facebook.
Mhm. And guess what? My son is Malik. So he must be
He's
talking
a
about.
king. Our
Yes,
names
he,
are king and queen.
because that's exactly what the name means. Let me see that we got it right now. Find her on Instagram, at Malika Star 2. That's
Yes.
STAAR 2. Find her on Facebook at Malika Space Star STAAR. You
Yes.
good? All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, support our African American female authors. We're gonna do this first Monday of the month. So our next author will be next month, first Monday of November. So look forward to having them on the platform. We're booked out all the way right now up to February, which is good. This is how many people I've been coming across. Robin, get ready, get ready. I see you out there. So get ready for yours to come to you because you are on the list. So it's a blessing to be associated with so many intelligent and wonderful women of color who brings value, who shares their stories, who help others share their story. So I would love to thank everyone in Clubhouse and Redemption. If you're not following the club on Clubhouse, by all means, tap on that green little house on Clubhouse. It's Redemption. Become a member. If you're already a member, that's great. We would love for you to be added to the tribe if you're not. But if you do know some that can actually find value from being a part of the tribe, invite them to make them members, as well as this. Look up, look down. Even here on social media, on Facebook, we have a plethora of friends, but sometimes you just need to get in somebody's inbox and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And just make sure that they're okay, right? It doesn't make sense to have thousands of friends and not even know who they are. To me, it just doesn't make sense. So I try to reach out to everybody. It may take a minute, but I have help with a phenomenal young lady named Miss Madriga, who's helping me to help reach out to those that I cannot reach out to. So she's really a blessing that God sent to me. She's currently supporting on this platform as well. But look up, look down, connect with everyone on different social media platforms, even if it's simply just to say hello, give them a heart, a like, or a share. Connect. That's all. That's what it's about. Connections are making everything, building relationships. I call it social digital currency, you guys. And guess what? It's FR. Let me see. FREE. Free. It doesn't cost you a dime. All it costs is 30 seconds, maybe, of your time, right? And as we close out with 3, when you go out, you guys, you always know what my saying is. Make sure you stay safe, wash your hands, wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart out here in these COVID streets because it's very important. We all know why. That leads us to 2, because we love you and there's absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing you can do but love us back. And last, before least, I see Miss Paulette just entered the platform. So Miss Paulette, get ready, because she's also a phenomenal author with her daughter, and she promotes literacy with children. And I can't wait to have her on the platform so she can tell you the amazing things that she's doing out there in the Midwest, up north, and Minnesota is great. It's really great when you can actually promote and support the literacy at such a young age. Because Malika, if you never got that journal at the age of 12, look at you now. That journal was the thing that made you who you are an author. Somebody just give me a journal and pen for you to write out all your thoughts. And then your mom, who's an avid reader, right? It starts from home sometimes. She modeled that.
Even now, like we down here and we live with my mom, and my kids are always on their tablets. And she's like, put those tablets down and pick up a book. You know what I mean? You just never know what you're going to learn, what you're going to explore, develop your imagination. Books allow you to tell your own story or read someone else's story, but you put the picture to what you imagine the author is trying to convey to you. For me, it was a classroom, but what does your classroom look like? Is it a green board? Do you have a whiteboard? What's your teachers look like? You know, you get to envision your own story within that story. It really keeps your brain sharp because you are digesting, you're comprehending. Like you said, there's nothing without literacy. Like you cannot do anything, you know, because you can't even read the instructions on how to put something together if you don't understand the power of words and what they mean. I also remember when I started reading the Bible that I would pray, Lord, let the words of your words come to life in my life. And it was so funny because as I started reading motivational books,
Mm-hmm.
those things would manifest themselves in my life, like happy money or slight edge. And, you know, how do you get that winning attitude? You know, reading books by John C. Maxwell. And, you know, I remember my first business book I read was Jesus CEO. Like, Jesus is CEO in my life, but Jesus was all through business and he knew how to handle business. And God wants us to be blessed. Do you say where are your gifts and talents? They're in your hand, they're in your head, you know. So for me, it's writing. You may not have that gift, but you may know how to draw a picture. You get with someone like Paulette who may need illustrators for her children's book, and then your gift blesses somebody else. You know, your gift, my gift was never sung. I can't sing. You know, when I met my boyfriend, he was like, everything is perfect until I sang one night. He was like, girl, we
Oh
won't
God,
even
it's
do
so
you
funny.
one. You know, like, no, but that's not my gift, you know? And
Right.
so, you know, but God has given us all gifts. He's given us all talents. And whether you have a lot of talents or you have a little bit of talents, it's still our job to use them. And if I may just use one little parable to tell that story, to encourage somebody on whether they're on the line with whether they should display their gift to the world or not. So there's
Mm-hmm.
a parable in the Bible where the master goes to his servants and he says, I'm going to give you 5 talents. I'm going to give you 3 talents. I'm going to give you one. Right. And so the person with the 5 talents, when the master came back, he checked on them and said, what have you done with these 5 talents? He
Mm-hmm.
said, I doubled them. He said, great. So then the master doubled that talent. So instead of having 10 talents, he now had 20. Isn't that? And that revenue, he was able to bring back the revenue that he made off of those talents back to the master, and the master then doubled what he had. Does that make sense? And then he
Yes.
went to the third, the person he gave 3 gifts to, and he said, well, master, I went out, I took the gifts you've given me, and I doubled them. So he went from 3 to 6, and then the master said, well, I'm gonna double your gifts. So he went from 3 to 6 to now he had 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the person he gave one gift to, one gift. He said, well, I'm not sure that I really wanted to display that gift. So I took it and I buried it and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't use it, right? The master was infuriated. He took the one gift
Mm-hmm.
and gave it to the person who had the most. The moral of the story is everybody has a talent. Some talents have to be developed. Like I went to school for liberal arts. I crafted what I did. I had a writing coach. Well, I had a writing teacher. So I had a teacher who taught me how to tell the story. I was part of the newspaper. So I was a journalist at the college. So you may have to go. Thank you, Via. You may have to go and seek out extra, you know, like a singer needs a singing coach, an actor. I act. I have, and a big shout out to Mark McKinney Acting Studios because I have an acting coach for those times when I feel like I really want to be adventurous and go out and audition or be in plays and stuff like that. The thing is, you have to develop your talent so
Right.
that you can double your talent. so that
Yes.
God can bless it. Because he said, he who is faithful over little, he'll make him ruler over much. So as you
Yes.
go forth, this what Janae is doing. Just imagine if God doubles it, because next month we're all going to come back and we're going to bring two friends with us so we can double the effort. And because Janae is so gracious to have us on these platforms, why not blow Janae up? Why not tell everybody about what she does for veterans, how she helps people travel around the world and have the most amazing experiences of their life? That's what we have to do. We uplift one another, not worry about who's going to get there faster than me or you. When we uplift one another, if we go and we take this Facebook and we take this post on these shareable platforms and we go out and we introduce Janae to the world as an interviewer, what does that do for her life? It says, because what you've done for others, God will do for you. So you may not have Janae come back and bless your life, but then God will open a door for you. What's your dreams? What's your vision? Now
Wow.
that I know better to uplift the people who uplift me. And if I can't uplift them or I can't repay, because some people's blessings to me, I can never repay what they've done for me. However, what I can do is I can go back and remind God of his words that you said you'd be a blessing to those that have been a blessing to you. And so I
Mm.
ask you, as I sit back and let Janae close out the show, what are you doing to bless someone else so that God can be a blessing to you? Janae, thank you so much for allowing me to be a blessing.
Girl, you about to be having me cry over here. Lord, that's just amazing. But I know something, and I have to thank my father for it because I know he used you to share that with me because that's what I needed right now. Not that I do any of this for any type of service or nothing. It just feels good. Y'all don't understand. If I told you the things, I have never really told my true story, but if you just knew the things that I went through with my deployments and just, the whole gambit. But this is my therapy. This helps soothe me. Seeing my battle buddies on Clubhouse, talking to them, meeting phenomenal women like you, intelligent women like you, who then introduced me to other intelligent women where we had brunch. It's just the most amazing
Oh my
experience,
God.
right?
Brunch was amazing. Janae, you have to tell people how to get in touch with you to have brunch. And who knows, maybe we could plan a trip to Costa Rica to have brunch next year.
Hey,
Next
look,
year, we should put that together,
get on
right?
the
Yeah,
list.
you have to.
BQM, Black Queens Matters, all the way in Costa Rica. Boy, T would really love that. That's T Marie. She was founded Black Queens Matter, over 20,000, East Coast to West Coast, North and South, where we just all get together, break bread, but don't gossip, yo. It's all about networking and communicating, uplifting women of color. And we also simultaneously support Black owned businesses who have been affected by the pandemic, who were closed, to bring more money in their direction by putting them on the map so they are visible and not again in one spot. We talk north, south, east, and west. So we'll be having another one on the 31st in the DMV area in Maryland, particularly in Silver Springs at the Society at 1 o'clock p.m. So should put it out there. So look for the flyer and save the date for October the 31st. Well, again, we'll be supporting another Black-owned business. And we'll have a theme if you want to dress up. For some people, it is the season, but you don't have to. But again, that's where you get to meet and greet other phenomenal women like Miss Malika Star Carey, authors, publishers who can help others. So when you know someone who it may not, resonate with you because it may not be your thing. But guess what? You may know somebody who has a story to tell, but they don't know how. But now you know someone that you can refer them to that will help them, that will bless them and get their story told. So with that being said, y'all know what? For my Clubhouse people, y'all know what we do when we end up. And even my Facebook people, y'all gonna raise your hands. So Malika, you gotta raise your hands now above your head. Crisscross my applesauce in front of your chest. Take your fingertips behind your shoulder blades and give yourself a big old squeeze. Consider yourself hugged and loved. Thank you guys so much for being in the room. Thank you for being in the platform. Again, this is Club Redemption. If you want to know what the rooms are like, if you want to know what Clubhouse is, and you're like, what's a Clubhouse? Some people still don't know. Then by all means, get in my inbox, and I will definitely share that with you. Everyone's open to it. It's a public now, not invitation only. So iOS and Android, everybody. So with that being said, we are closing out the room. We're closing out the live. Thank you guys. You all be blessed and have a magnificent week. Take care.